and welcome to 10 Good Minutes on No Credentials Required. My name is Ryan McCarthy. I'm one of the co hosts, and today we have a very special interview with a true NHL legend. He is a five-time All Star, four-time All Star, a five-time Stanley Cup winner. He's tied for 15th all time in Stanley Cup playoff goals. But we have a special reason for interviewing him. I'm going to bring him on right now. He's joining us all the way from Helsinki, Finland. It is Esa Tikkanen. Mr. Tikkanen, how are you today, sir?
Hi, doing good. Great to be in
Great.
a, in a radio again.
All right. All right. So let me go ahead and just ask a few questions about your time with the 1994 Stanley Cup champion New York Rangers. And I just want to ask you the first thing. My first question is, during training camp of the 1993-94 season, did the team have this belief that you could win the Stanley Cup, or did this belief of winning the Stanley Cup kind of build as the season went on?
Well, first of all, when we got to know Mike Keenan coming in the coaching on our team, we know what is a great coach and hard. We believe it
Mhm.
ourselves. We have a chance to win, and he made a couple moves with in a past in road in the Stanley Cup. He traded Chicago Blackhawks couple players, and he built his team. And I think that way we started building. Hey, we have a chance to win the Stanley Cup with this team, and everybody, Eddie Olchak and those six players who was up, they push us all the time in the training camp in every practice. We have to practice hard, and they know it. They pushing us, and everybody was ready to. We have seven Oilers players and five Chicago Blackhawks players, and the rest of it was in like Toronto and New York Rangers players. And one thing it was good was our goaltender Mike Richter and Brian
Yep.
Leach. So both was unbelievable.
So as the season built on, as the season went on, you had to were you saying to yourselves, "Hey, we could win this thing. We could totally win this
Well,
thing."
well, it was all the time. Is you when you step in the ice, you want to win the Stanley Cup, and what farther we going? And Mike Keenan was coaching against Oilers in two times in the Stanley Cup, Philadelphia
Mhm.
Flyers, and
Yep.
they lost for us, and we know how to win it. And we, like I say, we have seven Oilers players. We know how to win the Stanley Cup, and what's that take? And who step in that train what we had to going in a win the Stanley Cup was unbelievable. Everybody pick up the pace in the playoffs and in the final, against the New Jersey, overtime winning Stefan Matthew goal was up, and against the Vancouver, we know it. We have a chance to win it, and anyway, that go to game seven. We made a mistake, two goals. We let the Pavel Bure play the game he wanted. But in the game seven, we stopped him. He never scored the goals. So I think that was in a step, every different step, every game.
Yeah, and looking at that 1994 season, yeah, other than hoisting the Stanley Cup, we see that iconic picture of you hoisting the cup and you're sticking your tongue out like Michael Jordan there, my favorite basketball player. Other than hoisting the Stanley Cup and and having the parade, you go down the Canyon of Heroes in New York. What were your favorite moments during the regular season or the postseason? What's one or two memories that stick out in your mind?
Well, I never never was regular season player. When it
Mm,
started, I was ready to win the Stanley Cup. That's
mhm.
most of people think about it. Okay, regular season is a regular season, but for me, when you want to win one, you want one win something. You have to play playoff great, and you're looking today's playoffs. Panthers was leading 3-0, and now it's 3-2 for Panthers. Edmonton is playing great hockey right now. I every time when the playoffs start, I step one step higher, and my dream was every time win the Stanley Cup, and that way
Mhm.
was better player in the playoffs in the regular season. One thing is when you play in New York and win the Stanley Cup in New York, nobody never ever forget it, that one. And it's one dream. Win in the Madison Square Garden, Game 7. Wow,
Mhm.
that was unbelievable. In the 5 seconds left, period or final, and everybody in the Madison Square Garden was so quiet. You could, you say something, everybody was hurting on one. It was unbelievable. And when that end, everybody was so happy. And what happened in New York was unbelievable. There was we couldn't get out in a hockey rink till 5 in the morning. Was so many people was happy, excited, and
Wow.
forget it 1940 anymore. It was 1994, and that 30 years ago is still they remember that day.
Now, was that your? I know you've played at different arenas throughout the NHL. Was Madison Square Garden one of your favorite places to play in?
The one of them, the old players like myself, we love to Chicago Blackhawks, old stadium. Then it's the
Yep.
Detroit, and those old stadiums was feeling to play. Today, you going in those rinks, like where is the new rinks? That is same. Everybody, people not understand this day is the business. And when I
Mhm.
playing like Chicago Blackhawks or Detroit, wow, you scared to go there playing like Spectrum in Philadelphia. You heard this one as you have a big hole in the wall, they smacking you. Read this rumor and time to go to things. And I think it's just the main garden. All Madison Square was great. The people, like I say, when we won that '94 Stanley Cup, was unbelievable. When everybody was happy, there are people crying and say, finally we did it. And that was 60 years ago they won the Stanley Cup, and now it's going to be in 30 years. That was 30
Mhm.
years ago when we won it. And that's, I think they don't never forget it, that one.
Yeah. So speaking of the 1994 Stanley Cup, uh, I was we I also want to thank Mark from ClassicAuctions.net, who brought us together, and you currently have some personal memorabilia. I'll go ahead and share my screen real quick uh, to what we're looking at here. So we've got some personal items up for sale on ClassicAuctions.net. This will be available up until the 25th, which will be on Tuesday. But you got some personal items here that are up for sale. You've got a few Stanley Cup rings. You've got a couple of jerseys, a couple of jackets from this personal collection of yours. What was the primary reason for selling these such personal items?
Well, first of all, and there's people selling those things already. And in 30 years, over 30 years in with Oilers rings and the Rangers ring, they're not fitting my ring fingers anymore. And they've been in
Mhm.
my back, and I never used them anymore because they don't fit in my room. And I was thinking about why not, can't check what I can do it. And somebody in the memory Stanley Cup and jackets and everywhere jerseys, because those been in the closet, and they take dust only. And now I can buy something for my wife, something good. But anyway, it's memory, those rings. In Europe you never wearing those rings, but in the United States and Canada they wearing all the time the rings, and somebody
Mhm.
have a chance to buy them. And
Yeah.
Mark asking me couple months ago, and if I'm interested in doing that. So I talk to my wife and say, why not? I mean, you know yeah, well, there is lots more people who selling the rings, so why not you do it? Because you're not using them.
Mhm. Yeah, that's an interesting. I was fascinated to see how you got connected with Mark, and if he approached you about the idea of selling this memorabilia, or did you say I got some I got some things that people might want to buy and have it in their collection.
Yeah, there's a lots of people. I first of all, it's maybe half a year ago. I looking size, and I see there was in Rainbow Arc, and there was
Mhm.
and you know then maybe I take a contact him, and then he come one day in Finland, and we sit down, and he tell me his backstory about he's been 30 years doing these things, and he's been doing great things, and he's traceable, and that's a big thing. Those rings are not anybody can sell them, but Mark, his business been in great, and I looking forward. As a matter, somebody go to have fun, and in memory, and because it's one of time, Edmonton Oilers rings and my New York rings. Those are some dreams in some people, and I think it's the biggest thing is the memories are those living still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and speaking of the Stanley Cup, I'm going to ask you this one last question before we depart. You played for both the Edmonton Oilers and the Florida Panthers. Do you have a rooting interest in the Stanley Cup, in this current Stanley Cup final, or are you just entertained by what's going on?
No, I'm interested. I've been watching every game, and the Hawks well and Panthers playing well. It's because there's so many Finnish players, my friends, and 3-0 leading, and then my ex team Oilers coming back right now 3-2, and you look at your best players have to play best game this time of year, and you're looking at the Conor McDavid who's picking up last 3 games or 2 games, pick up in Oilers, and there's still Tracé who's been down the zeros in the playoff, so he has to pick it up. But you're looking most of it in Florida Panthers. Finnish guy Parkov have to pick it up last 2 games 0. Lundell last 2 games 0, and Pavorovsky have to take now in goaltender have to be installed because in the last game against McDavid 0 corner scored a goal. But I'm cheering both. I like to doesn't matter. I'm cheering Florida Panthers after Edmonton Oilers, and hopefully it's going to be in Game 7 back in Miami, because it's both teams playing well right now, and is more exciting everybody, and the biggest thing is best team to win the Stanley Cup.
All right. Well, Esa Tikkanen, we want to thank you for again spending a few minutes with us on No Credentials Required. Again, go to classicauctions.net. You have until Tuesday, I believe, at 11:59 p.m. Eastern time to put in your bid for a piece of what's in Esa Tikkanen's closet.
Yeah, that's the way.
Thank you again, Esa Tikkanen. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.